Oh my god. That is...
That's a 20-footer.
25. 3 tons on them.
You may have seen my Jaws video from a couple of years ago where I review the original 1975 Jaws game by Ideal Toys. And this is the oldest surviving toy that I own. And I got this for Christmas when I was around 5 or 6 years old. And it's still swimming strong in my collection. In that video, I referred to it as a reverse buckaroo. So in buckaroo, the object of the game is to put as many objects onto the mule's back. One too many and the mule will kick, sending the pieces flying. With Jaws, however, you place all of the items in the shark's mouth first and then take turns taking them out, one at a time, with the hook. The person who makes the jaws slam shut is the loser. And now, in celebration of Jaws' 50th anniversary, Neca have released this. So this is their own reimagining of this iconic game. So I pre-ordered this in March as I didn't want to have FOMO. And it's finally surfaced this week, in fact. So I'm going to crack open the box, compare it to the classic, and see if Neca's version has the same bite as the original. Now, one thing I forgot to mention is this is actually a sticker. Now, I think they've done that so they can re-release this game in, say, a couple of years without having to reprint the entire box. Now, hopefully this is packaged in the same way as the Ed 209 from Neca, so very minimal packaging and none of those little twisty ties holding all the parts in. So I'm just going to cut this seal here. And already I can see the shark's jaws. Oh my god. That is jawsome. Okay, no more shark puns, I promise. Now it looks like there's only 2 ties round the shark itself and all the little pieces are just under this piece of plastic which is held down with tape. And also, on the original Jaws game, you attach its side fins, so I'm not sure if that's a little nod to the original, but it does look a lot smaller than the original shark from the 1975 game. So I'm going to take all these pieces out and then we can go from there. So as you can see, I've paired up all the pieces from the 1975 Jaws game as well as the Neca re-release, and you can probably tell that a lot of these new pieces are a lot smaller than the originals, especially the walkie-talkie. So obviously that's the 1975 and that is the Neca re-release, and they're all very well detailed and nicely painted, especially the revolver there and the camera and even the the jug with a little cork stopper on the top. And my favourite is the difference between the old skull and the more realistic looking skull from Neca. And of course the gaff hook. So the original one looks more like a dentist tool, whereas the new Neca gaff hook is obviously inspired by the one in the film where they try to fish out the rope that the barrel's attached to. But there are 3 new pieces that Neca have included, and the first one is one of Hooper's air canisters, complete with the same label that you see in the movie, and the license plate that they pull out of the tiger shark.
A what?
And this has a little nod to the James Bond film Live and Let Die. So obviously you've got the 007 there, but it does say Louisiana, and that is where some of the film is set, particularly the speedboat chase sequence. And you've got 1972 when Live and Let Die was produced, and 73 when it was released. And my favourite of the new items has to be this pack of Narragansett beer. If I can just get it focused there. So this is the same type of can from 1975, and we can see Quint on the Orca drinking this and subsequently crushing the can. And also they have these little strings on some of the items just so it's easier for you to fish them out of the mouth. And now the part you've all been waiting for. The instructions! Only joking. I am of course talking about the shark itself. And as you can see, it is way too big to fit in the frame. So I think I'm going to need a bigger lens. So yeah, this is like night and day compared to the original shark in the vintage Jaws game. I mean, it's so detailed, even down to the teeth. And the difference is with this game, you have to hold down the jaw until it clicks. Like that. And that tongue part there, I mean, do sharks have tongues? It does look like a tongue. But yeah, that's like a pressure plate, so if you just lightly press that, it snaps shut. Now in the old Jaws game, it did have a removable lower jaw, so you could attach 2 elastic bands, and that's what made the jaws snap shut. So I'm not sure if there's any elastic bands inside. Can't really see any, but I just hope that mechanism doesn't break. So I'm going to reposition the camera and set up the game of Jaws with all the pieces in the mouth and see how it plays. So just like the original Jaws game, this is for 2 to 4 players, so it's not much fun on your own. So I'm going to ask my wife to see if she wants to challenge me to the new game of Jaws.
Go for the easy one. Oh.
Have you lost?
I can't remember what the rule says, but if you... I think you have to put that back.
I win. Good.
So there we go, the old versus the new. And you know, seeing them both together, I've realised they're both very similar in size. I know I said this one is a lot smaller, but they're roughly the same length and height. So which is the better game? So for me, the original is the better game, because the whole point of the game is to take items out of the shark's mouth, and the more you take out, the less weight is on the lower jaw. Whereas this one, you could take everything out of the shark's mouth and the mouth will stay open. And you probably saw that from the thumbnail. So the only way to make the jaws snap shut is if you accidentally put the slightest bit of pressure on that tongue with the gaff hook. So yeah, for me, this one wins hands down as a game. Whereas this one, for looks and as a collector's piece, then this one wins, because this would look great on display. But I've no idea where I'm going to put it. So keep your eyes peeled this October, as we're going to Martha's Vineyard, the island where they filmed the 1975 classic. And like I said, it's Jaws' 50th anniversary, and in October it's also my 50th, so that's why we're taking the trip to Martha's Vineyard. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care, bye!